We're often asked, why don't my loved ones in the afterlife communicate with me? They are communicating with you. You just don't get the messages. This video explains why we know your loved ones are communicating with you, but you may not be responding. Hello, I'm Dr. R. Craig Hogan, President of the Afterlife Research and Education Institute and Seek Reality Online. The most fervent wish your loved ones who have transitioned into the next life have is to let you know they're alive and well. They don't want you to grieve, and they're saddened when they can't get their messages to you. Despite the passage of time since their transition, your loved ones are always receiving your thoughts and emotions. They come to you when you need them, whether you're feeling troubled, disturbed, or simply asking them to be present. They're always available to communicate with you from the afterlife, and they're reaching out to you frequently, particularly in the weeks and months after their passing. Your loved ones in the afterlife communicate with you through mind-to-mind communication, sending thoughts that are focused on your mind in an effort to convey a message. However, these messages reach you at a subconscious level, and their subtle nature can prevent them from rising to the level of your conscious awareness. It can be challenging to quiet your mind and allow these thought messages to bubble up from your subconscious and become fully conscious, especially with the constant demands and distractions of daily life. Your loved one is always available to communicate. Wherever they are, your loved ones will come to you when you want to communicate. They're only a thought away. They don't ignore you or feel anything negative about you. If you're not getting a connection, it isn't because they've found someone they like better or they're miffed at you or anything else that results in a separation. It's just that connecting is as difficult for them as it is for you. They will come to you and will work at communicating. You just have to find methods that will enable you to receive the communication and respond. If you go to a medium and that person isn't able to make the connection with your loved one, it isn't because they aren't available. Good mediums have times when they're able to connect and times when connections just don't come through. That has nothing to do with your loved ones. They always come to you when you ask them to. It's that the medium is tired or mentally preoccupied or incapable. No one reincarnates and becomes unavailable. Reincarnation is misunderstood. The messages we're getting consistently from people living in the next stage of life say that after you make the transition to the next life, your higher self will incarnate a new individual to learn lessons in Earth School. When that new individual's life is being planned, it may take fragments or a whole framework from your life. As a result, you're linked with that new individual. That is why you can have past life regressions, and people talk about living other lives with each other. But you remain the individual you are throughout eternity. Your loved one is available to communicate with you. There are clear signs when a loved one in spirit is with you. You just have to learn to be sensitive to them, not brush them off, and respond to their presence. Sometimes a memory comes to you out of the blue. Perhaps it is something you haven't thought about in your mind for years. That's their mind uniting with your mind. They're thinking of that memory or are thinking about you and sending that memory to you. Thank them for it and let the love pour over you. The sense of presence is a real sense, like seeing or hearing. When you have the sense a loved one is close by, it's because they are there. At that moment, you can stop and say hello. You can tell the person how you're feeling and how happy you are that they're with you. Then you can go on, or you can stop and have a brief dialogue. You will receive their responses. The responses for them are the first thoughts that come into your mind after you say something. If you're attentive to the sense of presence, you will more easily feel it over time. The sense of presence can trigger sudden grief. The reason is that the sense brings the person to mind, resulting in the sadness that they're not in a body with you. One person came to the realization that the periods of spontaneous grief weren't just random moments of sadness. She wrote, I realized at that moment I was feeling more than anything else that she was with me. If you feel a wave of grief, ask your loved one if they're nearby. The first thought that comes into your mind is their response. Accept all notions of messages that are warm, loving, and uplifting as communications from them. Dark, negative messages are from your monkey mind, not from them. They also communicate through bodily sensations, such as your feelings of being touched, cobwebby feelings, tingles, pains, and other such bodily sensations. One medium describes being anxious when she's receiving communications. Another says that males give her sensations on the left side and the females on the right side of the body. Sometimes a guide or a loved one will use the same bodily sensation every time they are present to signal you. People expect material signs or manifestations. They look for feathers or coins or numbers that show that their loved one is connecting with them. They're wonderful, welcome signs. What they must realize is that when the feathers or coins or numbers come to them, it's because their loved one is with them at that moment, inspiring them to look at the floor where the feather is, or the sidewalk where the coin is, or the license plate that has the numbers. Most of the time, they are just directing your attention to what is already there, not creating whatever it is. As a result, when you experience that physical phenomenon, they're most likely with you. Say thank you and I love you. That's what they want. The feathers or coins or numbers are not important. They're just ringing of the phone. You must pick it up and talk. Some suggest you should speak with the newly transitioned aloud as well as telepathically. People often describe feeling more of a sense that someone in the afterlife is present in the first weeks or months after the transition, but they have less of a sense of their presence after that. The person most likely has gone on to the next level of spiritual development, leaving the earthly realm. But even after they have gone on to the next planes of their lives, they are still available to communicate, and they will still be with you to have a reunion when you get there. They are only a thought away right now. When you think of your loved one, they receive your thought, wherever they are. They will send warm thoughts to you and are available to communicate. If you're having a problem, or are depressed, or ill, or are otherwise in distress, they will return to the earth realm to be with you at that time. They also will come to the earth realm just to look in on you. They will do that more often if you have regular times when you communicate with them and you maintain active communication. Speakers in the life after this life also explain that they try to help their loved ones still on the earth realm by inspiring them and giving them guidance. However, if the person on this side of life doesn't believe the guidance is real or ignores it, those in spirit go on with their life activities without trying to communicate. The communication becomes easier and more frequent as you establish the new relationship by communicating regularly. Fortunately, we can learn to communicate with our loved ones through mind-to-mind messages techniques, such as repair and reattachment grief therapy used by psychotherapists that are successful in connecting clients with their loved ones. The love connection between the person on this side of life and the person in the afterlife is a powerful force that facilitates communication. To learn about psychotherapist-guided afterlife communication, go to this link on your screen. There are also free online training programs available, such as the one provided by us, the Afterlife Research and Education Institute, that will teach you how to be more receptive to communication from your loved ones in the afterlife. The training is free and available to anyone. With practice and an open mind, anyone can learn to receive messages from their loved ones and strengthen their connection with them. For more information, go to the link on your screen. Your loved one is happy, but misses communicating with you. They're ringing the phone. You just have to pick it up and answer.